Hi, I'd like to talk to you about UDR's next generation operating platform. About 3 years ago, in 2017, we began developing a new way of doing business at our site levels. The reason we did this was really twofold. First, our customers expected it. In other aspects of their life, they were able to conduct business via self-service and 24/7 access. We felt they would enjoy that at the place where they live also. So we wanted to meet them there. Second, we wanted to drive our operating margins, specifically our controllable operating margins, by either finding cost efficiencies or developing new ways of driving revenue. When we rolled out this concept to you in 2018, as we were starting out, we expected a 150 to 200 basis point improvement in our controllable operating margins. That's about $15 to $20 million on our then run rate NOIs. I'm happy to say we're running a little bit ahead of schedule on that. It should be completed by 2022. When you look at the platform, and we've broken it down to you in various investor presentations in the past, it's really a three-phased approach. The first two phases we've talked about in detail to you previously. The first really dealt with outsourcing certain maintenance functions and centralizing certain administrative functions. The second phase, which really played out well over the last 3 months, was on customer self-service, either through the customer app, but more specifically through self-guided touring. We had set ourselves up well for this by installing over 36,000 smart homes last year. And I'm happy to say over the last 3 months in a touchless environment, our residents were very appreciative of the system we had built, and I think it worked out very well. The third phase, which is the one I want to talk more to you about today, is data science. And a little bit later, I'm going to have our CIO, Scott Wesson, who's been with UDR for 9 years, explain the benefits of a data hub to you. And really, in general, what a data hub allows us to do is aggregate all of the information that we collect through our variety of systems, put them together in a much more consumable format that allows us to really drive results better. The first one that we've developed, and I'm going to share my screen with you, is called heat maps. Heat maps allows us to take information that historically we looked at on spreadsheets and look at it on more of a spatial design. So you can really see what's going on instead of just looking at a list of a bunch of numbers. So what I'm showing you here is a site map of a community in Mountain View, California. It's called Birch Creek. It's a 184 unit property. Average rent's a little over $3,000. This community was built in 1968, so it's a little over 50 years old. We purchased it in 1998, so 22 years ago. And I'm going to show you over here is a few buttons and levers that we can pull to let us better understand what's going on. You can pick a variety of metrics that you want to look at. I'm going to look at occupied days. So this shows what has the occupancy averaged over a time period. You can pick dates for any period of time that we've owned the property. I'm going to do it from 2010 to 2020. I do it over a longer period of time because it'll give me more of an indication of nuances about the unit rather than about the resident. If I was pulling this just for the last year, occupancy trends could be tied more to resident preference than it does on unit amenity. So we're going to go over a 10-year period. I can look at a variety of filters. The first being the number of bedrooms. So if a 1-bedroom, it has a much higher occupancy than the 2-bedroom units, it would tell me that I have opportunity to drive rate on 1-bedrooms. I can also look at the variety of floor plans within each set of bedrooms. So you can see here, we have 2 types of 1-bedroom floor plans, 1 type of 2-bedroom. A B means 2-bedroom. And then down here, you can see the average occupancy over this 10-year period is averaged 96.95%. And if the unit is highlighted in white all the way up to green, it's running at an occupancy over that 10-year period above the average. If it's yellow to red, it's below average. So the first thing I would do is really look on a locational basis and see if I see any clusters of red or green, because they'll either tell me I have opportunities or problem areas where units have been mispriced. And I can tell you, we price specific homes at the time we buy it or build it. So I told you, we had bought this community back 22 years ago. So unit-based pricing was put in place then. And if the property really hasn't struggled since then, we don't go back and reassess those on a frequent basis. So when you have data though to help you, and you can look at it spatially, sometimes you can see places where there's either opportunities or problems. The biggest cluster of red I see is right here, and that looks like a prime location actually within the community, surrounded by a water feature. It's got easy access to the pool, easy access to the front street. A lot of people here use public transportation. But unfortunately, when I see half of the units in here are screening with average occupancy, that's more than 250 basis points below average, it tells me that we probably assigned too high of a premium on these units. And if we want to have occupancy levels and maximize revenue, we may need to reduce the rates on those on this building to maximize. In my opinion, if every unit is priced efficiently, you would have very comparable occupancy levels at each unit within the building. The place we've really found the most opportunity is at the floor level basis, first or second floor. And again, this is a 184 unit building. Half of the units are on the first, half are on the second floor. And when you look at it, again, total communities at 96.95. First floor homes are about 80 basis points less at 96.16. Second floor is at 97.7, so it's 80 basis points higher. So second floor seems to be preferred based on the pricing that's being offered at this community over this 10-year period. This tells me we have an opportunity to increase rate on all second floor units. So what I would suggest to the team at this community is for the next month, let's increase the rate on second floor homes by $50. It's more art than science, but after that month, if you see actual leasing activity stays the same as it was, or actually maybe improves over that time period, I would memorialize that $50 increase, make it part of the unit-based pricing. And when you apply that $50 over the 12-month period over 92 homes, you come up with an improved rent roll of about $57,000. So as you look at that on the cap rates for Northern California, you increase the value of this community by $1 to $1.5 million. That's just one way of utilizing data science too quickly. And the process I just went through, that's about how long it takes to do a quick survey of each one of our communities to find those types of opportunities. So something that would have taken quite a bit of time and a lot of difficulty going through spreadsheets is made quite easy when you can look at it this way. A lot of people think that our price optimization systems pick up on this kind of information. They actually don't. Those systems do not get into the unit by unit details. They get into the floor plan details. So they would help quite a bit in pricing our one-bedroom units against one bedrooms of competitor properties, but it doesn't get into the detail of first floor premiums, locational premiums, things like that. So hopefully that was helpful. Let you give you an idea of how heat maps work for us. Again, there's a variety of things we can use heat maps for. This was where we thought the lowest hanging fruit was. And we've gone through all of our garden communities already this year and made changes, and we're seeing the benefits. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Scott Wesson, who's going to tell you more about how our data science and data hub work. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. Hi, I'm Scott Wesson, Chief Information Officer of UDR. What is the UDR Data Hub, and why is it so important to our innovation strategy? You might know most of the disruptive technological advancements over the last 10 years have come from vertical integrations. Vertical integrations are built to empower companies to own their supply and service chains and choose the partners they wish to plug into their digital nervous systems. The underlying data architecture is the linchpin that permits disruptive companies to innovate. Think about companies like Uber, Airbnb, or Grubhub. Fundamental to each of these companies is a data architecture that reduces complexity and the friction associated with doing business with them. The service experience for the customer is seamless, but it takes a lot of work to transform today's people-driven multiple system business models to a model like Uber's. So, one of the key investments in our next-gen operating platform is what we call our Data Hub. And it looks like this. The Data Hub allows us to integrate data with business partners and query that data to uncover new business opportunities that we simply couldn't see before. The Hub enables us to connect processes and data with other systems to deliver seamless customer experiences. The information from all the spokes out here are replicated into our hub here on a real-time basis. In the past, our innovation and speed to market was limited because data integrations were complex, reducing our choices of innovation partners. With no hub, each integration had to be done directly with each company, which was difficult to maintain and costly for both us and our partners. Now, with the Data Hub in place, we have an information clearinghouse to reduce the effort of inventing new processes and plugging them into the UDR ecosystem. Our strategy with the Data Hub gives us the ability to vertically integrate our business in a similar way to today's most disruptive companies. It allows UDR to take advantage of much more technologically advanced business partners and technologies that might not typically enter the multifamily sector. In short, the Data Hub can help us innovate smarter, faster, and cheaper than ever before.